Not all Dead by Daylight matches are created equal. Sometimes the killer makes the trial an absolute walk in the park, and other times,
you know it's over before a single generator pops.
Welcome back to the channel. It's Desolate, and today we're ranking every single killer in Dead by Daylight based strictly on how much of a living hell they are to play against. We're scaling the entire roster from the Survivor Win Almost Any Time tier, where you can basically loot them with your eyes closed, all the way up to the
Just Burn tier,
where you might as well just point at a hook and save yourself the stress. Hit that subscribe button and let's see where your most hated killer lands. Now, quick disclaimer before the pitchforks come out in the comments. This tier list is 100% based on my own personal opinions and specific experiences in the fog. As a P100 V main, my matches probably look a little different than yours, and who I find annoying might be an easy loop for you. So if your favorite killer is on the bottom tier, don't take it personally. This is just how my matches usually go. Starting things off with the poster boy himself, the Trapper. I'm putting him right in the fair category. Let's be honest, most of the time when I load in and I see a bear trap on the ground, I know I'm going up against a brand new player who literally just installed the game. They're usually just wandering around stepping in their own traps, and it's mostly a pretty free escape. But then, there's that other
10%.
Every once in a while, a grizzled veteran trapper slips through the matchmaking cracks. Suddenly, I'm stepping into traps hidden in pixels of grass I didn't even know existed. He absolutely
Fools my cheeks open and
completely teaches me why I should be spending my time reading a book instead of queuing up. But on average, he's perfectly fair, so that's where he's gonna be. Next up, we have the Wraith, and honestly, he's going straight down to the what the hell tier. Look, I don't know if this guy is just my matchmaking, but I swear every single Wraith I go up against plays like there's $1 million cash prize on the line for just getting a 4K. It's just a game. Like, you're playing a beginner killer, my guy. There's absolutely no reason for you to be sweating this hard and acting this crazy. You uncloak, you hit someone, you cloak again. It's not an esports grand final, but because every single Wraith main treats my lobbies like they're playing high stakes tournaments, he's staying locked right there. What? No, straight to what the hell. Alright, let's just get some housekeeping out of the way right now before we move on. The Hillbilly, the Doctor, the Pig, and the Legion, straight to the burn tier, all of you. Look, I'm not even trying to hate, but every single time I go against one of these four is the exact same experience. It's like you all share a hive mind. You are either unbelievably toxic, you tunnel right off the hook at 5 generators, or you leave everyone slugged on the ground for 10 minutes. Every single one of you do the exact same things. I'm officially out of grace. I have 0 patience left. Y'all gotta go straight to the bottom right now. Moving on to the Nurse. And look, I'm not even saying this out of hate, but finding out it's the Nurse at the start of the match already makes it feel like raps. I did not mean to rhyme that, but it's the absolute truth. She is going directly into the what the hell tier. Unlike the last group, this isn't because she's toxic, it's purely because of how unbelievably difficult she is to go up against. A good Nurse just completely breaks the fundamental rules of the game. You can't loop her normally, pallets are practically useless, and the skill ceiling is terrifying. Huge respect to the people who take the time to master her, but going against a good one, yeah, what the hell. Next up, we have the Shape, or as most people know, Michael Myers. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like people play this guy to actually win most of the time. They just load into the match specifically to scare the living shit out of people. I'm gonna put him in the balance category because gameplay wise, he's pretty fair, but let's be real. If we're ranking strictly on a terror level, he would be straight down in the
Burn tier.
There's absolutely nothing worse than panning your camera around and realizing he has just been standing there, completely still, breathing heavily.
and watching you do half of a generator.
It's usually a pretty fun balanced match right up until they randomly decide they do actually want that 4K and suddenly everyone is screaming. Yeah, on second thought, if Trapper's gonna be in fair and Michael's gonna be in balance, I think it'd be more fair to send Trapper to the balance side. For the first killer at the very top of the list, we have the Hag, and I think it's pretty safe to say she belongs right here in the Survivor Win Almost Any Time tier. Honestly, I haven't even came across a Hag player in what feels like forever. She's practically a rare spawn at this point. The only time I can actually remember losing to a Hag was way back when I first started playing the game and I had no idea what I was doing. But now, for some reason, they always feel incredibly easy to go against. As long as you know how to crouch past her traps or just hold W when she teleports, she isn't really a threat at all. Easiest escape of the day. Alright, for the first actual fair placement on this list, we have to have the Huntress. I honestly think she belongs here right in the middle because going against her is just a complete roll of matchmaking dice. Whenever you hear the lullaby, you're getting one of those 3 very specific experiences. They are either incredibly easy to play against, and you're out the exit gates in 5 minutes, they manage to drag the round out for way too long, constantly sniping you off generators, or they just straight up tunnel you right off the hook until you want to physically
Pull your own arms off.
There's absolutely no in between. But because you never know which version of Huntress you're going to get, it all averages out in the fair tier. Next up, we've got the Cannibal, and for some reason I have absolutely no clue why, but these guys just love to relentlessly camp the generators. Don't get me wrong, I know that's technically the killer's job, the whole point is to keep people away from the objective, but somehow Bubba players manage to take a normal gameplay mechanic and make it feel incredibly toxic. I honestly don't even have any more words for this guy, straight to the what the hell tier. Moving on to Freddy Krueger, the Nightmare. Now, when he first came out, he felt so incredibly easy to play against because he literally couldn't do anything to you until your character fell asleep. It was basically a free head start, but after you guys rework, he became a bit more powerful, and honestly, I'm all for it. He feels like a completely actualized character now. Yeah, I don't think he's too difficult to go up against, but he still poses a solid, consistent threat with his dream snares and teleports. I would call his current state perfectly balanced, so he's going exactly where he belongs, right into the balanced tier. Next is the Clown, and I'm putting him straight into the what the hell tier. Honestly, I don't even have a long explanation for this one, he's just giving me genuine trauma. For some reason, every single person who plays this killer is incredibly good at the game, and absolutely slaughters me. I'm looking to upgrade my PC to an RTX 5090 just to handle the sheer amount of purple gas these guys spam at my screen without dropping frames. I hate his bottles, I hate his laugh, and that's all I have to say about him. Moving on. Actually no, screw that, you can burn. Next up is the Spirit. Honestly, trying to track her directional audio while she's phasing makes me want to bust out ghost equipment, but jokes aside, she's really not too hard of a killer to go against, though she definitely isn't the easiest either. A good Spirit can completely mess with your head at loops and force you into mind games, but if you stay calm and know what to listen for, she can be also pretty easy to counter. She sits perfectly at the middle of the pack, so she's going straight to the balanced tier. Alright, now we've got the Plague. Honestly, in my experience playing against her, I've hardly ever seemed to struggle too hard against her. Don't get me wrong, that little sickness mechanic where she just aggressively vomits all over you in the generators is stupid and annoying to deal with. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's a complete toss-up. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I win, and it usually just comes down to whether or not my solo queue teammates decide to cleanse every 5 seconds. She isn't a free escape, but she isn't a guaranteed nightmare either. I'm giving her a solid spot right in the balanced tier. Now it's time for Ghostface, and dude, I can't with this guy. He's going straight into the what the hell tier. The crazy part is, as a killer, he really isn't even that great. His power is pretty basic, but for some reason, going against him just feels incredibly toxic. Every single Ghostface player I go up against acts completely loco for no reason. I honestly don't have much else to say about him. If I see that white mask peek around a corner and immediately starts teabagging me at a pallet, I already know what kind of match it's going to be. What the hell? Okay, now it's time for a truly rare one, the Demogorgon. I swear, I honestly cannot remember the last time I went against one in a public match. They're an endangered species at this point. And he's not a bad killer at all, I just hardly ever see him, which makes him pretty hard to rank on a modern tier list. But based off what he used to be like for me back in the day, I'm gonna put him right in the fair tier. He was actually a bit of a threat. Next, we have the Oni. And actually, I'm gonna put him in the fair category. My feelings on him are pretty mixed. He's the definition of a coin toss. On one hand, he can feel incredibly easy to go up against if you just pre-drop pallets and don't give him that first hit. But on the other hand, the exact second someone feeds him his power, it's over. He turns into a tunneling Sonic the Hedgehog with the giant club. Just because of that sometimes toxic nature where they get Blood Fury and immediately decide to tunnel you out of the game at Mach 10, he lands right there in fair. Alright, we need to take a quick pause real quick because I'm looking at the rest of this roster and there are 3 killers staring back at me that absolutely deserve to burn. The Deathslinger, the Executioner, and the Mastermind. All 3 of you are going straight to the bottom. You make the match an absolute living hell. Okay. Now I'm looking at more killers and I don't even think the burn tier is enough for this. We need to make a whole new tier.
Welcome to the 9th circle, Night in the Goal.
Congratulations, you are the only 2 killers in this game that make me want to genuinely uninstall the second I see who you are. The killers up in the burn tier make a match a living hell, sure, but they might still have a tiny shred of soul left. You two, you have absolutely none. This literally forces you to play 2v1 against AI guards that just zone you out of every single loop. And the goal is quite literally the most soul-sucking experience currently in the game. While the rest of the roster gets to burn, you two can rot. F*** you. Next up is the Blight. Now, before you start typing a paragraph in the comments, yes, I know he's technically an S tier killer. I know he's supposed to be this unstoppable high mobility god of the fog, but I have to put him in the balance tier for one very specific reason. For some reason, every single Blight I go up against is just stupid as hell. I don't know what it is about my matchmaking, but a majority of people playing him in my lobbies are the worst players that ever touched the game. They spend the entire match just aggressively bouncing face first into the wrong walls, completely missing their lunges and acting like they desperately need to touch a shower instead of their keyboard. So yeah, technically a good killer, but in my experience, a completely balanced killer. Next up, we have the twins, and dude, I swear, sometimes I really wish the entity would let things be more lore accurate just for 5 seconds, so I can put that little action figure straight into Narnia. They can be such a stupid killer to play against, and I know it's 100% because of that baby. You're just trying to chill on a generator and suddenly this tiny midget gremlin is sprinting at you faster than the speed of Ultra Instinct. It's actually ridiculous, but honestly, as annoying as getting jump scared by Victor is, the matches usually come down to a coin toss. Sometimes you completely crush them, sometimes the baby gets the best of you, but whatever, you win some, you lose some, straight in the balance here. Next up is the Trickster, and I think I legitimately just hate this guy. Every single time I go up against him, the matches feel unbelievably toxic. From the very first chase to the exit gates, there's no deep explanation needed here. It's just getting spammed with 100 neon knives while he laughs at you in K-pop. Like, that's exactly why he's going straight into the what the hell tier. No questions, no debate, no grace given, just get him in there so we can move on. Next up, we have the Nemesis. Now, this one is funny because I actually love the community jokes that surround him. If you look online, everyone makes the exact same jokes about the Nemesis being the absolute biggest tunneler in the entire game. But to be honest with you guys, I've never actually gone against a tunneling Nemesis. At least, not yet. But my god, they sure as hell slug. Instead of just picking you up and hooking you, you get punched in the back of the head by a massive bioweapon and he just leaves you there bleeding out in the dirt for 4 minutes so he can punch somebody else. Because of the absolute refusal to pick anyone up, he's going straight into the what the hell tier. Moving right along, we have the Cenobite, and man, I actually really miss seeing this guy in my lobbies. He's genuinely such a cool killer to play as and equally as cool to go up against. His power never really felt too broken or toxic. He's just really solid, an A- character honestly. Looking at his kit, he probably belongs in the balance tier, but I'm putting him in the fair tier for one very specific reason. I have to admit that I lose way too many matches against him to call him completely balanced, and I am a big baby, so into the fair category he goes. Next up is the Artist, and look, every single person who plays this killer is exactly like the Wraith players we talked about earlier. They take the game way too seriously. It's a public match, but they're out here trying to snipe me with crows through 3 different walls across the entire map like their life depends on it. I was fully prepared to drop her into the what the hell tier, but there was this one time I looped an Artist so bad I actually made her disconnect mid-match, and I'm not gonna lie, it legitimately made my entire day just because that one beautifully salty rage quit. I'm extending a little bit of grace. She gets a bump up to the fair category. I honestly don't know how I completely missed seeing her on this list earlier, but holy hell, the Onryo can completely burn. I don't even want to go into this one. I'm not wasting a single second of my time or breath explaining this to you guys. Straight into the burn tier, let's just keep going. Next up, we have the Dredge. Personally, I really don't think this killer is too difficult to face. I will admit, he can pop out of a locker and jump scare you completely out of nowhere, which will definitely make you jump the first time, but honestly, that's really about it. His actual chase potential isn't anything crazy. When you're putting in hours on a Prestige 100V, dodging this guy just becomes muscle memory. Once you get past the sudden pop-ups, it's a survivor win almost every single time. And then we have the Skull Merchant. Honestly, this one's a complete joke. As a killer, she's absolutely horrible, and I think y'all know what tier I'm gonna put her in. No more questions. Now for the Singularity. I have to say, he's actually a really cool character to go up against. Now, I'm not saying cool automatically means easy because he's undeniably annoying to deal with sometimes, but honestly, I actually really like the challenge he brings between dodging his biopod cameras and scrambling for EMPs. Trying to constantly track his sight lines feels like I'm back to managing monitors on a chaotic dual camera production setup. It's stressful, but it keeps you completely engaged on the entire match. He makes you actually work for your survival instead of just holding forwards, so he's going right into the fair tier for me. Now we have to talk about this absolute nonsense, the Xenomorph. You're going straight into the what the hell tier, and it's for one reason, and one reason only. I really, truly hate your tail. You can play the loop perfectly, you can drop the pallet at the exact right time, and it literally does not matter because of that bullshit tail attack. It's just gonna whip right over the top of it and hit you anyway. It is unbelievably frustrating to go against. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not talking about it anymore. What the hell tier easily. Next up is Chucky. Honestly, this guy and Victor give me the exact same ideas. They're just both tiny, incredibly angry little gremlins rushing at my ankles at Mach speed. Because going against him gives me the exact same vibe as dealing with the twins. He's going in the exact same spot. It can be annoying, but it's ultimately a toss-up on whether I win or not, so bounce tier for him, bye-bye. Next up, we got the Unknown, and I'm not gonna lie, I used to be genuinely scared of this dude. His whole twisted, uncanny aesthetic is incredibly creepy, but then I found out Jason completely folded him on a one-on-one. And yeah, my fear just actually vanished. I can't take him seriously anymore after that. But as far as actually playing against him in a match goes, it honestly feels completely fair. Once you get a hang of everything that he has, it's basically a back and forth. It's fun, it's fair, so he's going in the fair tier. Yeah, the leash feels like a massive what the hell character. He honestly feels overpowered in a way, and yes, I know I'm whining about it now like the judgment isn't about to come out. I've seen the gameplay for that, and let me tell you, I'm scared. Very scared. But bringing it back to the leech, he just has a ton of cool abilities that make him feel too strong compared to some of the older killers on the roster. He just has an answer for everything, and that stupid chest, don't even get me started on that damn chest. Getting chewed on by that thing, it's the absolute worst. That's really all to say. Straight to what the hell. Next, we have the Dark Lord, Dracula. And I must say, I love Dracula as a character so much. Like, just in general outside of the game, he's awesome. But as far as playing against him, I completely hate it. I've been tunneled out of matches by this guy way too many times. Now, this placement might feel a little unfair for other killers I sent to the Shadow Realm, but purely just because I love this character so much, he's going into the fair tier. God, this is gonna be the worst, most inconsistent tier list I've ever made. Next up, we have the Houndmaster. Now, as much as I genuinely love the concept of this killer and the AI companion, I'm pretty sure the character might be a little bit bugged. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in a chase only to turn around and realize her dog was just completely stuck on a random piece of the map. The poor thing is just moonwalking into a barrel while I completely get away. Because of the bugs, the chases usually end up being a breeze. So to all the Houndmaster mains out there trying your best, I'm sorry, but you're pretty easy. Boy oh boy, now if you watch my channel normally, you know how much I love Five Nights at Freddy's. But we're not ranking him on how much I love the game and the character. We're ranking him on how much I actually struggle. And do I struggle against him? Not really. I'm an absolute master at weaving that axe. Seriously, just call me Goku the way I'm dodging these hits. So, I love you, Springtrap, but you're also really easy to deal with. So, I think you already know what tier you're gonna go in. Quick heads up guys, I totally forgot to mention this earlier, but the tier list template I'm using right now is not updated, so unfortunately we won't be ranking Jason or the first aka Vecna in this video. I'm sorry about that. I definitely should have said something in the beginning, but anyways, moving right along, back to the list for our last but certainly not least killer. And for the very last killer on our list, we have the Kraju, and I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Honestly, I've been seeing her a lot less in my matches recently, and in my opinion, I think it's just because she's a pretty mid killer. I never really struggled too much with her, and sure I lost a bit when she first released, but we were all figuring her out, so nowadays she's just become a pretty easy killer to go against. Once I learned the counterplay, running against her just became second nature, so I think the Kraju belongs in the balanced tier. So yeah, that's all the killers ranked. Here's my full, very inconsistent list. And if you would change anything, let me know in the comments for sure. I might change my opinion later. Definitely not on those bottom two. But yeah, I also completely forgot to mention this earlier, but I am officially sponsored by W Energy. If you want a drink that actually fuels you and fresh without the crash, go to their website and use code DESLATTE at checkout for 10% off your order. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I might start streaming soon, so definitely look out for that. Peace out, guys.